Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Non-farm employment change, and keep in mind on Friday is the non-farm payroll report, which is always oftentimes gives a wild ride, but 8:15 today on the US dollar. And then again at 10 o'clock, there's another red folder for the ISM services PMI, whatever that is. And let's see, actually crude oil inventory reports at 10:30. Keep that one in mind for the Canadian dollar. So we have a couple of red folders, so be vigilant with that. So we're looking at 8:15 and 10 o'clock and 10:30. We're looking at for news announcements. And on the charts, see Hercules.
Look at all these people dragging in late.
No, they want to wait till the disclaimers out of the way, which I don't blame them.
They've memorized it by now.
Yeah, they already know what the disclaimers are. So anyway, what's hot, what's not? So right now we look like the New Zealand dollar is the strongest on most charts. It's gave up a little bit right now on the 5-minute, but still relatively strong. Canadian dollar is the weakest, and the euro is weak. The US dollar is weak. The US dollar is weak. On the 15 and 5, we can be looking at the again just took over first place here, one being strong. So we could do yen CAD, we could do yen USD, New Zealand USD, US CAD. Let's just take, so basically let's look at the yen and New Zealand pairs against the US dollar and Canadian pairs.
Take a look at your, before you jump into that, go to the Kiwi US.
The pair?
Uh-huh. It's sitting right at the 50 mark. It busted through, didn't close above, but it's got the strength momentum potential. Just want to get your opinion now. 7 pips is what we're looking for.
Kiwi US. We got to get this on to the 15-minute chart.
I will just say that on the pullback, I got in at the 50 mark, which is 70.77. With the spread, it put me at 70.79 as an actual entry.
Here's our range. So often we just find this, the price where it is right now is right in the middle of the 15-minute marker. And
that's where we're at.
This one's right here at the 30-minute. Well, it's right at the 30-minute mark on this one, which is good, 30% or 50% rather. So that's good. That one's good there. Go to the 5-minute. Check that one out. Oops.
As far as Sherlock, there is no zones on the 5-minute.
Let's slide this over just a little bit more. Tweak it and then lock it.
Not in this third, at least. Not in the red to blue. That doesn't mean it's not on a higher time frame, but it's not on the 5-minute.
I do like this nice little pullback. I don't like this little wick right up here to take it long.
That's what I did. I took it long. Strictly on Hercules.
Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly has the momentum to the upside. We have a, what is that, 5 or 6 there? 6-1. So we have 5-point spread here. On the 15-minute, we have a 5-point spread. And we have 4-point spread with this pullback. It still has the upward momentum. Let's see what the pullback was here. Here's high, here's low. There's 40% pullback. And we probably have the room for the, let's see, there's at 83. We're at, now we have a 4-point spread to the top there.
My target is 70.86.
Yeah, we could probably do a buy stop on this one, somewhere around the 70. 80, 70, 80, then 70, 84 to 86 would be the blue line right here. That's the 2-minute blue line right up there.
Love the simple pairs, the U.S. pairs. But I've noticed that just in the normal market, the closer we get to the opening, the U.S. market starts. I don't like the U.S. pairs on scalping. The closer we get to it, I don't know if it's just me or.
They do get a little bit volatile here. We have a 2-point spread on this, and we're at 70, 82. If I did a buy stop right now, right on this red line at 70, 80, I'll be filled pretty much right away. But I'd like to see it pull back. So I'm going to do a buy stop at 70, 80. So I'm going to come over here with less than 2-point spread. That's good. So I'm going to go to buy, stop at 70, 80. And we're going to go for 15 pip stop, 1% risk. And we're going to, actually, I like 2% risk. 2% risk, that puts my value at 40, basically is maybe about almost a 0.5 lot size.
And what I like about this one, though, Al, when I'm looking at it on a 5, all the moving averages are in the right direction, and I will not get in with a 15 pip stop. I'll get it shorter. If it pretty much closes below 70, 69, I'm going to probably get out of it.
So are you already in it?
Uh-huh. I got in at the 50 mark when it popped up and retraced back down to the 50.
Or right here.
70, 79 is what I actually got in at because of the spread. But yeah, 70, 76 is the 50 mark for me.
Yeah. Okay.
But just by the way it's structured, this looks very simple. It's either going to win or it's going to lose.
Now we did get the flip here. Right now we have the dollars on this 5-minute chart. We did get the flip here. We're getting some pullbacks on the. We saw our 15-minute is still good. We still have a nice spread on that. This looks like to me this is just a nice little pullback area.
You actually on the 15, Sherlock identified a demand zone at 70, 69 to 70, 65. That's your demand on the 15. So
what I like is right here at the 38% retracement level, you have our 62 moving average on our 5-minute chart. And it's coming in, which is right around the same. That's a little bit higher. Let's see what it is on this one here. Yeah, we're right at the 62% moving average. 62 EMA.
Your blue line on the 15.
I'm gonna bring this thing down.
What is that blue line on your 15?
Blue line on the 15 price.
No. What moving average is that?
Oh, moving average. Oh, this one. Oh, that's the
34.
30-minute 34. Actually,
okay.
Should be. I need to change that thing. Let me double check that here.
Because that's right with the demand zones.
I keep missing it with the default. So, yeah, basically that's same as chart 34. It's a 34.
Okay.
Well, the same as chart. Yeah, the 34 moving average. This is a very strong pullback on this right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got right now the dollar strong on it. Now, after this pullback, we're looking for a little bounce off. If it comes all the way down, especially if it comes all the way down here to the 48. I'm going to move this stop down here a little bit lower here. Just
the 70, 60 area? Is it the 70, 60?
Just to get out of the way. Because I'm moving my target, I'm moving my get in point a little bit here. I'm going to move this back down to this area. If I look at this 1-minute chart and look and see where this strong move up is and coming back now, right now it's doing a retest. So I'm starting from here, going all the way up to the top, bringing this all the way back down to wherever it is right now. And you can see that right now, this pullback right now is right at the 61% pullback of this big move. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and enter, if this move is still going in the right direction, I'm going to enter it. I'm going to do a buy stop when it comes up to the 50% line of the Fibonacci's. Now, that'll give me a nice little target up here for 78, 70, 83. The entry is 76, 70, 76. So that gives me a 9-pip stop just to get up to where this thing was rejected right the first time. And we have a little trend line coming in here. Looking at this, here's a high. Oops. We have a high here. We have a higher high, a higher. See how we respect to that trend line. And coming down below, we do have here's a low, here's a higher low. What I would not want to see is I would not want to see it break. So right now, this is about a 78% retracement, which is this could be the beginning of a nice big move to the upside.
And it hit my 38 at the 70.69. So I added a secondary position. So now my net long is a little bit lower. It's below the 50 now, which is good.
And so if I do a buy stop right here at 73 to 68, that's only 5 pips. That's only 5-pip risk. Because if it breaks this, then it's going lower. So I'm going to try and get in right about in here. I'll do a buy stop here. This area right here is key right now. This pivot and this pivot right here is key. Actually, I probably could take it down to this one.
Yeah, the further back you can go on a 1-minute chart, the better you are.
Yeah. Oh, it's all the way down there. Yeah, I still don't think this thing's going to tank just yet. So we are on the 15. 15 is still, we're still showing, there we go, just got filled. And New Zealand dollar.
So half my position is profitable, half my position is not. That's a good sign, though, for an overall push up. If it'll close this way. Well, Al, you sound better today.
Yeah, it's getting better. It's just taking this good sweet time is all.
Dr. Brian was correct. Lots of fluids.
Dr. Brian's always correct.
It's always in the
Wine
house.
count as a fluid?
Eva, what did you say, honey? It was a little low.
I said, does wine count as a fluid?
I believe it does.
Yeah.
I believe it does.
And a fruit.
And a fruit, yeah.
I agree with you, Al. It certainly does make you feel better.
Hey, well, let's see. Well, we're in this trade, and we'll see what happens here. I like the fact that we had we had a strong pullback, but it says if it starts breaking below this pivot right here, I'm going to be considering bailing on this. I'm not going to give this one a lot of room.
I agree. That's exactly what I was saying. It's just very clear that I'm not going to give this one a lot of room.
Because right now, with my entry, I originally had my entry up here. It pulled back another 7 pips. So I got it. So right now, all I have to do is get to this red line-ish, or at least to the top of this trend line, which was rejected the first time. And I can be in and out of that trade. And I only have a very small stop here. So with this, I can protect myself. And I'm going to go with a stop loss of, I'm going to use the about halfway between 670, 62.
You and I are like simpatico.
70, 62. And I said, if it's either going to win or it's not, then my take profit is going to be right up here around the anything 70, 80-ish. Let's see. Let's do 10 pips. See what that is. 70.84. Let's do that. 70.84. See where that person. I can adjust it.
You and I are like on the same page, Al.
Is that what your target is?
Now that I got my secondary entry, yeah, that's exactly where it's at.
And you can see that here was hit off the trend line. So if this trend line is still valid, I'm going to expect it's going to come on up and maybe poke through, which would be right there. It's coming right up into that 2-minute fib line. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Next one. What's the next one?
Let's go. I'll keep an eye on this one too for you, so don't worry about it.
So we have that was the New Zealand USD is what that one was. And let's see, how about a CAD yen? Let's try that.
Well, that one for me has already hit and gone while we were sitting here. Remember, I entered that when we were just getting on. That one's already profitable and done for me. But it could be a repeat, which would be a nice thing.
Here's a nice little pivot from here's yesterday's high, here's yesterday's low. And so I'm going to use this screen, and then I'm just going to scroll here between here and here on the 15. Maybe I'm going to use the blue line.
And that really did take off. That was a good trade.
And so we're looking at the CAD is weak, so we're looking at yen strength, so we're looking at it short. Let's see here. Right now, here's our 25% zone. Right, it's right in the 25% zone. This one may be one of those that you may want to just think about waiting for it to retrace.
Lots of Sherlock demand on this one on the 15.
There's 25
and 5.
There's our range. It's past our mid range, coming into the lower 25%. Strong move down. Here's a nice little wedge. This is a good. This is almost like a little flag pattern here. We can get a top to the bottom. This thing has potential to go even lower. And then this would be the target zone right in this area.
Yeah, if we could break below that 86, 82, because looking left, that's obviously a strong area of support.
And we have a nice little red, the 30-minute. There we go. And we have a nice little red 15-minute zone right here, dip line, which is right below this. This thing's, like I said, this thing still has room to the downside.
You're on your 15, Al?
Yeah, strong spread on this one.
And you got a red line where?
The red 15-minute fib line is.
Mine's at 87.13, and then I got a blue one at 86.71, but I don't have a red where you have a red.
Hang on,
It looked like a red he had there.
I get 86.48.
86.48. Way on down. Okay, way on down. Okay.
Yeah, let me just double check. Yep, that's 15.
You spooked me. You got a blue one in there too, though.
Well, I got my fib line. I do my Fibonacci's right on from the blue to the.
I can see it now. It's just small.
From the blue to the green is what I did. So here's
we took a trade on the Kiwi US earlier. Long.
Blue, 15-minute blue. 15-minute red is right down here. These are a lot of times these blue zones and these 15-minute zones are kind of major bounce points for scalping. Let's see, this was a red one. Red. I'm just putting these up just so you can everybody can see them a little bit clearer. And this is a green. Go to my 1 minute chart.
And you're looking to be short on this, Al? True.
So yeah, looking for a pullback to go short. Now, one thing I don't like about this right now is it's already in this blue zone. It's already in our 25% of our Fibonacci range that we drew. And I don't like the fact that it's in that zone right now. I'd like to see it come back up. But if it just comes up, but we have all of our moving averages still in the right direction. And we're getting a little bit of a pullback. Now, we're only looking for 7 pips. So the next 7 pip area is going to be, now these are the yen pairs. Okay, I'll tell you what, with the yen pairs, I usually go to the 5 minute just because the zones are a little bit more, will give me those 7 pip zones. So if I'm at, make sure this is on 5 minute. Yep, it is. So right here is, if you measure from, this is 86, 85 to 78. So these are 7 pips apart. So these are, so the blue zone, which is right here, this is 5 minute blue. We're already past that one, and we're doing like a pass and check. We're past it. 5 minutes. Where's my 5 minute blue? Here it is. It passed it. It came back up, checking it, and then this would be the next target, and this would be the next target. These are all 7 pips apart. We still have the strength to the downside for the yen is still strong by a lot. So on the pullback, I could go with a.
I got to pull back to 86.92. Is that showing up on yours too? Yours is tiny for me, so I can't tell.
86.92 is right at the blue lines. The blue line's at 92. It's 91, 86.91 2. So we're within a pip of that. I would say that as soon as this 5 minute candle can close red, if this 5 minute candle can close red, I can maybe take a shot at this, and then maybe I can get my 7 pips between here and just a little bit below the red line.
Where's your red line at? I can't see the number. What's your number you're doing?
5 minute red is 86, 85 2.
Okay. It's the 61. Okay.
Yep. Like I said, when you're on these yen pairs, because of just the way the values of the yen to the dollar, I find out the 5 minute chart works a little bit better to find these zones, these 7 pip zone ranges. And we have 1 minute and 30 seconds before this candle closes. We're going to do a sell stop somewhere right around 86, 88. $86.88. And we're going to go with a 2%. 2% risk. 15 pips top.
You're waiting for it to break down below instead of a retrace. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sort of waiting for this thing to, because I don't want to get in unless I know it's going to confirm to keep on going down. Now this is a nice little pullback. Actually, you have 2 choices. One, you could just take the retracement. Let's see, we're on 5 minute chart. Let's see what it is on the, let's see what this is. See, right now on the retracement, we have the Canadian dollars getting stronger on this. So I'm a little bit, I don't like that. But once it gets done with this pullback, see, and I can start moving my entry. Now that this thing's pulling back, we still have confirmation that the yen is still strong. But right now on this 5 minute chart, this is just, to me, this is just signifying a pullback. So what I'll be looking at with this is I want to see a pullback at least 38% or roughly 40%. So I'm going to take this tool, come up here, draw down, and see how far up it goes. And right now it's over 40%. So at this point, I'm okay with taking this thing short once I get a confirmation that the candle's going to start turning around.
question for you, Al.
Okay. Yep.
Did you take a sell on the, are you looking to take a sell on this one? Or did,
Yes.
okay, yes. Thank you.
I said when the 1 minute chart, when it's showing strength in the opposite direction where you want to take it, wait till it gets done. Wait till this thing flips back again. Because right now this thing could keep on going, and right now if I do a sell stop, I can just keep on moving my. Originally it was down here, and I can move it up here to the 86, 89 area. So sell stop, it can go to 89. And my target is going to be down here right around this first red line. That's 89 to 85. So that's actually target must be a little bit lower than that. See if it gets me in. And then my stop can be up here 15 pips. I can actually make a little bit tighter stop, because if it starts coming and breaking it above the top of this pivot up here, then something's wrong. So I'm going to move my stop, have my stop being right around 86.97. I'm going to right click, modify the order, 86 stop. So my stop is way up here, keep it above these pivots, well above the moving average. So we're looking at about 9 pip stop. And if this thing gets in, then we're looking for or 7 pips. Modify, take profit, 7 pips. And our trade's all set. We're not in it yet. It hasn't come in. But right now we have a nice little wedge developing right here, another little flag pattern. Here's our high. Here's the start of the move down. Here's the pivot low. Retrace back. Retrace back 61% of this move and retrace 61%. And I'm looking for a target of being down here right around right about where my target is, right around the 1-to-1. I may have to move that up just a little bit. And so this is our target zone. Then you can move these away and they're all set. I'm not in the trade yet. You can see it pull back. Did not get me in. I want to see it close. I want to see it get down below this large series of blue candles right here. And once I get in, and once it breaks through here, I can move my stop down maybe a little bit tighter till it gets to my target.
Where's your target at, Al, again?
Right here at 86.82.
Okay. That's where I'm sitting too.
Well, it's got a question for you, Al.
Okay.
Danielle, I'm not sure I understand what you're asking, but something about where's Al's 61% retrace?
61. Oh, okay. Yeah. On this, the way I have this tool, this is a Fibonacci extension tool. And what that does is, and I've got mine set up a little bit differently what the default is. I draw from the high, the long candle to where it peaked out. Now, what I have this thing measured so that when I look at the bottom where this circle is, I come across, I see what this says 61%. So in other words, that when I drew this leg up here, this was 61% retracement of this leg. And I can just read it. I would look at the bottom and I would go across and see what. So if I go up, let's say it was up even higher, let's say it goes up to a 50% retracement. Would be right there. You see there's 50%. So that's just the way this tool's set up.
I'd be happy to know, Al, that the Sherlock just created a supply zone right above your entry on the last close.
These are the settings. If you want to take a snapshot of these settings for this extension tool, I'll leave it up here for just a little bit so you can do that. Let me move it over here. You can see we came up, it came in, it got me into the trade with the momentum coming down. We have the flip right now on the 1 minute chart, and here's our target right sitting right down here, waiting for it to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the pivot low. It came right down. It could not close below here. That's a little disconcerting, but it did wick down. All of our moving averages are in the right direction still.
And now you're coming back into that supply zone that was just created.
Let's see where we are here. This is CAD yen. CAD yen.
I still like it down.
Yeah, we have a little bit
of
a supply of a demand zone right there at the 86 to 82 level.
Mm-hmm.
That's we'll be pretty much out of the trade about the time it gets at the bottom. That's at the bottom of that level. We're pretty much in it right now. No, 88.95. Yeah, that range is 88.95 to 80, 86.95 to 86.82. $86.82, which is right down about here. And 95 is way up. This is a big range.
Where are you getting that from?
I'm just looking at the Sherlock on the one that I have on my MT4.
And what time frame is that? That you get that demand zone?
Oh, that's why that's not right. I don't know. I'm trying. There we go. That's better. That's better. This was 86.84 to 86.82.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right where my target is.
I was going to say, holy smokes! I was on
the wrong time frame. Right now, this thing's still respecting this upper trend.
Mm-hmm. It may be one of those patience days again.
It may be one of those patience days.
Because that's happening even with the Kiwi at this point. It's just kind of stagnant there.
But here's your anchor. Here's the first hit. Here's the next hit. Rejected. The big question is how deep is it going to go into this 25% zone before it reverses?
The question is, how deep is your love by the Bee Gees?
Here we go.
It already started. I know. It already started.
It's already started, and so it begins.
Usually it's still making lower highs, lower lows. Here's a low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Let's see if we can come in and get us into our target.
Yeah, I think I can rewrite "How deep is your love" to a trading. I think that would be hilarious. Jump into a studio and just start your trading hits.
I expect it might get a little bit of a bounce right around the top of this target area right here at this 5 minute.
Daniela says, Brian, don't distract me.
You get him, girlfriend.
She's going to have songs in her head. That's the problem.
Well, right now we're on the 1 minute chart. We have a nice five-point spread. We have a 5-point spread on the 5 minute. We have a 7-point spread on our 15 minutes. So right now, this is still telling me everything is still to the downside. Mm-hmm. I would not want to try and take this thing long.
Nice move there. It came right up into the Sherlock supply zone and bolted down.
And right here, this is our target area. So now this is about a 85 to 83. So we have about 2 pips spread here, which is about what our spread is. So I'd say anytime this candle touches this red line or anything in between, you can take your profit. Because there's a good chance it's going to come back up and retest the trend line again. Right now, there's no reason to get out of this trade. And there's our red line, penetration. Just having a little bit of a problem getting through there. See if that 1 minute candle cannot close, no, wait for another entry. We have another, what's our time? 8 seconds. And I'm going to be thinking about getting out of this one and then wait, see if I can get another entry to it. Now I'm going to hold off. But what I am going to do is I'm going to move my stop down. Let's move it down to right around this blue area right here, just below the blue area. So now I only have a 4 pip stop, 6 pip target. If it breaks through this trend line, then I may get out of this trade and wait for a better entry on it. Or take another position if you still feel good about the trade. Got a little bit of a flip right here. It has that rejection point at the target.
And we're back into that supply area again.
Now we're back into the supply zone.
Mm-hmm. But if you look at the pullback on this, it's very similar to 2 or 3 candles ago on the 5-minute chart. So that big green candle doesn't really bother me too much. But like you said, I have a secondary entry sitting at 86, 82, or 92.
So, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll take the profit when it gets down here, even though it may not be the full 7. I'll take the profit, expecting it to pull back, and then come back and take another position at it, and then make another run as long as everything still looks good. Because here's what happens: is you get in position, it comes back in, you say, "Oh, going for the bigger run." You could have taken your profit, been out of the trade. Now you come back in, say, "Okay, it's going to give me another shot at it," and then the second time is when it starts really tanking. Now, the thing I don't like is it's in this 25% zone right now. It's going to be, just the question is how deep is it going to go before it breaks out of the bottom. But it's got a little ways to go.
And you draw yours different than me because it's in the top 25 for me.
Okay, yeah, you just took it from the other direction.
I took it from green line to blue line. Mm-hmm. Instead of the pivot high to the low.
Now we got the flip back again. Here's the pullback. When it came back, now it flipped back. Now we have the yen strong again.
Good Edens. 17 pips. You got in earlier than everybody on that one then. If you got 17 pips already, you jumped in earlier.
Here are your 3. These are like 2.5 pips in between these marks right here. Let's see next.
Just so you're aware, Al, on the Kiwi US, it's still respecting that trend line. It broke below it, but it did not close below it. So
okay. Let's see. So here's our 5-minute fib. Here's our 5-minute fib, the green one. So if it can break through this area, it's got 2/3 to get down to this one. Let's see, this is green.
You know, with 17 pips gained in a day, if you took 17 pips with proper position sizing, that could very well make a 2 to 3% easy day.
Yep.
So make sure you're careful with that. It's not about how many times you can win. It's how well do you win.
Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
This little move right down. This is pretty strong. This is a nice, strong move up. I could see a nice little retracement coming in off of this. Here's the high. Here's the high. Here's the low. And a 50%, 40% retracement would be right about to this level, which is right where it is right now, 40%.
Your Kiwi US is looking really ugly now.
Kiwi US.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I'm not near. I moved my stop up quite a bit. I'm not thinking it's going to go where I want it to go.
Let's see, we were long on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's still a zone. I'm still seeing a zone right between 70, 66-ish. A little demand zone.
Right. That's where I'm 3 pips below that demand zone.
Yeah.
That's my stop. Mm-hmm. Because if it goes down, it's just going to break down because then all your moving averages are in one direction. You have more Sherlock zones of supply than you have of demand.
70, 65.
It'll be a much smaller loss than 15 pips, which is a good thing too. That's a good thing.
Anything else to be looking at while we're waiting for this thing to do what it's going to do? We have our stop in place. I've got my stop right here. I think one thing that concerns me a little bit is right now is trading in between these two 5-minute fib lines. So I'm going to have my stop just a little bit above that. It's only a 5 pip stop. So if I'm wrong, I'm only losing 5 pips. We had an option. We had a chance of getting our 5 pips out of it, but we didn't take it. And let's go to yen is still strong. We're still playing yen to the short side. We have a Swiss. New Zealand would be another possibility. I don't like this one. Swiss CAD possibly. Let's take a look at the Swiss CAD.
Yeah, our Kiwi is digging deep. Yeah, I'm getting ready to close that one out, and it's going to close out on its own, I think. Something major is happening because that's a strong move, Al.
Yeah.
Is there a news item for today for Kiwi US?
8:15. There's a news item at 8:15. Remember that?
It is going nuts now. I left my stop alone, but oh my gosh, it may make its target now. Whatever news item it is, it just had a major engulf. Oh my, yeah.
I'm profitable in it now.
Me too. I'm almost thinking about just closing it out since it's
That's about what I'm going to do if I can get a chance to do so. Here's the Where we at here? I just got stopped at. Did I just get stopped out on this one?
I closed one part of it. CAD yen is still grinding well, so that didn't get impacted much. But my goodness, that was a big move.
News. That was the news announcement.
Was it red?
Yeah, it was a red folder at 8:15.
Yeah, that would have been nice to know. I should have paid attention to that.
We got
That's
another one
all right.
coming up. We have another one coming up at 10 o'clock.
Well, I had my stop in a good position, but it stopped on a dime right there where my stop was.
The spreads are spreading out a little bit here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Notice that too. Wow.
And that's trading.
That is nuts is what that is.
So right now, to analyze the New Zealand USD trade, let's take a look at our 5-minute chart and see what we're looking at here. So an upward trend. Let me just take all this stuff off. See what we got. Pivot high, pivot low.
And even if this candle closes right now green, the sellers are in control of it. I think
Moving
that's
averages are consolidating. We're having a lot of consolidation. Moving averages, big wick on this one right now.
Mm-hmm. Sellers are not liking it. Trend line was broken.
If I draw the fibs from this pivot low to this pivot high, you see right now we're starting to come into our target zones. And the dollar is the strength right now. We do have this little, it's basically it's just trading in between this range right here.
CAD yen took profit, Al. You should have had profit there.
On which one?
Your CAD yen should have hit profit. You're short.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. There it is. That was on that announcement that drove that into profitability. You know, I have this one to still play around with. Right now, we're still in this trade. We have a new playground here. You can see we're just going sideways for the last, since about 3:30 this morning. Well, 4 o'clock this morning, it's just been going sideways inside this range. And we've got dollar strength right now. This thing's liable to take me out.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
We'll see what happens with right around this green fib line here.
I took my secondary entry off of the CAD yen because with a movement like this, there's no real clear place for it. It stopped at the blue line. Wow. Does our indices get affected the same way?
That's Eva's department. What do you say, Eva?
Well, hang on a minute.
What?
Sorry,
She's
I
not.
got to go to my charts to have a look. Whenever you ask me a question, I've only got one monitor.
No.
They're actually moving all right. They didn't go all wild and wacky. I'm looking at the German. Well, the UK 100 kind of took a bit of a dive, but
is that because of the U.S. news?
well, the US indices, they all kind of tanked. There's one big long candle in the ones that I trade, which is NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and the S&P. Actually, the only one that didn't, well, I guess they all to some extent moved down, including the ones over in Europe. Yeah. So I don't know what, again, yesterday the same thing happened, right? We have no idea. There wasn't even any news that we're aware of. Who knows what made them all react. I'm actually surprised that the ones that over in Europe are doing the same thing that the ones in the US, considering our market isn't even open yet, and theirs is almost towards the end of the day for them. But yet, whatever it is that's moving them is moving them all. It'd be great if you could catch these things, but it can be very dangerous, as we know.
So right now, this move down here is 50% of this up move. So it's retraced 50%. Right here at a green fib line, bounce, couldn't hold it. Have a little doji right there. You see where right there, the buyers and sellers are in equilibrium right at this point. I'm still going to hold my ground on this one. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. If I do get stopped out and it pulls back, it may still give me another chance to get back in again. But take the stop, get out of the trade, and see if it goes deep. And then if you see where it's reversing again, then just go and re-enter the position. Better to do that than to think it's going to keep on stopping and then it keeps on going. And you don't want to be moving your stop. You just want to take the hit. But if things look like it's still going, if you just got stopped out just barely, you can always get back in again. But don't revenge trade. Be careful about that. Right now, we're at nice 50% pullback, and this thing could come up and retest the upper 25%.
So you still in this trade, Al, the Kiwi US?
Yeah, I'm still in this one.
I gotta make sure. I think I got tapped out on it.
And what I may do is that on a pullback, I may take another position. That's the other option too. You can take, rather than take the stop out, take another position if you still feel that's still in the uptrend. And from a higher time frame standpoint, you're still in an uptrend. But if it breaks through this little pivot here, it could go all the way down to this one to retest this area. This is a 1 hour chart. But this is the origin of this up move. But I could probably move this thing down to here. And we're right about in the middle of this. But right here, you have this little wick, these little wicks right in here. Strong candle up. There's your 25% zone. So if I get stopped out and it comes back in here, I may take another position down here if I get stopped out. But I'll take the hit if I need to.
When you say down here, are you talking about the 70-56 area?
70-56 area, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where this I'm on a 1 hour, I'm on a 1 hour chart right now, just looking at the price action. And so there's a little doji right in here, this little red candle. And that's right at the, you can almost put it down to the bottom of these wicks. Because if this little pivot gets taken out and closed, it's going to probably come all the way down here and find some more buyers in this area. This is a key point right in here. This is kind of the retest zone. Go back to our 5-minute chart.
Yeah, I'm
It's
still
nice,
in it.
big doji, big wick up, little wick down, but they all price buyers and sellers entered, opened, and closed that candle all at the same spot. Now, if it does get back up near my entry, I may just pull this trade. We'll see if they can drive it back up to this area. I don't expect it to be going.
You got a huge supply zone at 70.77 now.
70.77. That's right up in this area here.
Mm-hmm. The wick of the news couldn't quite get up there.
See this red candle with a nice big wick body. It can look at this as a zone right in
That's
there.
it. That's the zone. You got a drop base drop after a pivot.
And then here was the retest. Here's our 3 candle high. Came back down, came back up, retested this area, and then fell off again. All of our moving averages moving in the right direction. We got the crossovers. And so this thing has the potential going down further.
Further, yeah.
See what it looks like on the 1 minute. We have the New Zealand strength on the 1 minute, so it's coming up to retest. I'm expecting it might retest this green fib line. This was all news driven right in here.
A lot of activity here at my house, apparently.
Oh, here's the anchor. We're waiting to see where the next hit is on this. Where the next rejection is. If I were to draw a wedge, I'd be using this, that high, low, high, and flat bottom. See where it's going to end up. There's a pivot, so we can use that for right now. Here's our wedge. If it breaks through the bottom, comes back, retests, I'm out of this trade. If it breaks through the top,
Say that again.
if it breaks through the bottom of this the BD line,
Okay.
if it breaks through the bottom and closes, comes back up and retests the wedge and falls down, I'm going to be out of this trade.
Okay.
If it breaks out the top, closes, comes back down, retests it, then I'm going to stay in this thing, see if I can get it back to my break-even point.
Makes sense.
So here's what I'm looking for. I'm got it comes down, closes, comes back, retests, we're going down further. Or the other side of the coin is it comes up, closes, comes back down, retests, is going up that way. Those are my two choices. Right now, it's in between all those areas. So right now, as long as it stays between these two A marks, I'm still in this trade. But once it breaks the wedge and comes back down, retests the wedge, then I'll be out of the trade. Now, if it breaks, comes back down, goes back into the wedge, I'm still in it. The only way I'm going to get out is if it comes back up, tests it, gives me a red candle down, then I'll be out.
It is really fighting it, isn't it?
Yep. I'm going to go long up there, and I'm going to go short down here.
Crazy.
You got some strength on New Zealand on the 1 minute. You still have about equilibrium on the 5 and the 15.
Al, you're kind of the John Madden of trading.
I don't know what that means.
Have you not watched John Madden in football where he'll draw all the little things and then bam, and the guy's going to do this, bam, and he does all that drawing stuff. Like your red lines going down, your green lines are going up. Just the wide receivers going out to this side. He's going to turn around and do. Yeah, you're the John Madden of technical analysis. We just need
his new title.
Yeah, John Madden's very detailed, so much that he makes it fun for people who don't have any clue what he's talking about yet. I mean, he'll call out plays, but Tony Romo is the same way as an announcer. He'll call out a play before it ever happens. It's amazing how they do it, but breaks it down very simple. My wife can watch football when John Madden's announcing, and she'll understand what he's talking about. Here's your break.
There's a break. It hasn't closed above the C, though. It's right at the C. Now it's starting to go up higher. Now, the question is it going to retest this green? Is it going to do a pass and check of this green bar? Or is it going to come up here and just bounce? There's a little doji. Sellers are coming back in again. Still have the strength here. Pretty much equal down here. Still has pretty much dollar strength to the downside on the higher time frames. That could have been a head fake. This could have been a trap. Everybody's saying, oh, it's going to go long. Now, if it comes down, breaks out of the bottom, does one this little number down here. See, it came back into the wedge. So all bets are off on this one. We do want to note that.
Your aha moment will come. Some people have the clouds spreading apart and the light shines down on top of them. And it makes everything comes together and planets align. And some people just have the aha moment as they just don't even realize it's happening. They just naturally learn it and they go, oh, okay. So don't expect a parting of the Red Sea or anything like that.
And the choir of angels singing out.
Well, we'll try that. We can when your aha moment happens, Danielle, let me know and I'll do the hallelujah chorus for you. Hallelujah.
We do see how that it did break out, but it is still respecting this trend line.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it, but I'm not going to go short unless it breaks it and then comes back and retests it.
It is really a nice wedge.
It's nice. I like the fact it supported that, and we are long on this. But that could have just been a little bit heavy. So basically what they did is they said, okay, we're going to make everybody think we're going long, and then we're going to take their stops. Here's a 71 to 67. That's a 4 pip stop. So they've had a really tight stop. You have been stopped out, but right now you got this trend line. You still want to have your stop below the trend line. It's still respecting this one. So this one has a little bit higher validity right there.
I went ahead and redrew my wedge on the top side.
You could have brought the C up to where the A is there.
That's what I did.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with the original one. There's
It's still valid
because this A is still lower than this A. So the wedge is basically it's now going sideways inside we just decide which between this A and the B is still going sideways. Ultimately.
But it's definitely respecting the bottom.
But it's respecting the bottom.
For sure.
All right, now we get to try and do it again. It's coming out of the wedge, but I want to see a close above this body right here. We did get a higher close here. This little close here is higher than the C. That's a good thing.
Trading with friends is always fun, so it doesn't matter how long it takes you to learn it.
Crickets.
Yeah. Crickets are good.
See, as it's working its way out, it doesn't have much more of this wedge before it has to make a decision of which way it's going to go.
And it's doing this right at our 38% line on a fib.
And remember, we have another news announcement at 10 o'clock.
Well, great.
And then we also have the market open at 9. So this will be a pre-market move here on this.
I've been in trading rooms where it's not so much fun, to be honest. Critical. Al, you've been in that room.
Yeah. Here's the apex of the wedge right here, where I have the two B's are. You can see the moving averages are fighting, still staying green, even though it's fighting to stay. We'll see. It's coming to a point of decision here. But you don't want to try and trade this. I mean, the only reason why I'm doing this is because I'm already in this trade. I want to see if I can at least get back to break even. The question is, am I going to get back to break even and go higher, or is it going to take my stop out? It does seem to be having more momentum to the upside. Here's the retest. We had the break. Here's the retest. Now let's see if it can trend on up. I expect another bounce off this green line. We're going to get a pass and a check over the green line. Just like with this, we're looking for a pass, come back, check the line to go higher. See how we're doing on our other time frames. Okay, we got the flip here. We doubt the New Zealand is strong against the dollar on all these. Now you have a choice. Do you want to just bail on this trade and just come out to break even? Or do you want to go and see if it comes on up to get you your 7 pips?
I'm going 7 pips.
I knew you would.
Yeah. I don't
do
play
like we're getting the strength. We're getting the spreads now. We're getting the momentum. So this is done. The wedge is done.
I would expect for you to pass, like you said, come back down, maybe touch the top of the wedge. Maybe
Here's
one
our
last
pass.
time, but
Here's the pass.
and come on, one more pip.
Now back to break even. And we have a zone. Just get this out of the way here. I see that red line there. We have these wicks. We have to deal with these wicks right here. Here's our upper trend line. Here's our high. Here's the pass. Now it's coming back to check it. Moving averages are good. Crossed over the 62. That's good. So all these moving averages are in the right direction. And how about the higher time frames? They're trying to cross right here and trying to cross over there. So here's our pass. Here's our check. Strong candle up. Basing. Now we're going to see what it's going to do. And we're coming up on the 9 o'clock hour, another 15 minutes.
I did move my stop up though. So if it comes back down, it'll be almost a break-even trade at that point.
I'm going to put my target right about in there. If it comes up close to that, I'm going to and it doesn't close it out, I'll just close it out myself.
Where'd you put your target at, Al?
70, 80.
I'm not quite that high, but I'm close.
Yeah, actually, if I could back it off a little bit here. Been kind of a struggle today.
Yeah. Isn't it fun?
Wow.
This could be a very nice tray and analysis, Al, that you've done on this one. If it doesn't work out, I'm sending you the bill, though.
And I'll tear it up and send it back to the return.
If you need Al's address, let me know. If you lost money, he will reimburse you.
You say you didn't want that pendant that I picked up?
Yeah.
What are we going to do without your tomfoolery next week, Brian?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We gotta get you a real job, like trading for a living.
Exactly.
If I got some other things lined up, it wouldn't take much. I could do it. It's just too many things in the fire right now. Too many uncertainties.
This is about as clean of an explanation of a methodology that I can describe with that wedge, the breakout, the next level, the breakout. It doesn't get much clearer than this as far as what the basic philosophy and system is.
That's why those wedges are so important too. Even though we don't really hammer them down, you'll see them and you'll see why they play out so well.
See, actually, this is forming its own little wedge right up here right now. At the breakout, here's a high, here's a low, here's a lower high. We have our wedge.
Well, Al is a phenomenal vocalist. You should hear him sing. He's so far past me.
Especially with laryngitis.
Absolutely. There's nothing better than Al with laryngitis singing Katy Perry songs.
Funny
Next week.
You have construction going on behind us, and they blasted Katy Perry tunes, the construction workers. When I first heard, what?
We got a Bruce Springsteen fan. He could do the Born in the USA today with the laryngitis and sound almost just like him. We are the world. Yeah, we can do all the voices. I was
I was respecting this upper trend line. It wicked up, came back down, back in the wedge.
I was just making a little bitty triangle there, Al. So far.
Yeah, let me take this one off. It's a little too confusing here. But yeah, there's a little bit of bitty triangle.
Little bitty one.
Here's a high. Here's a low. Here's a lower high. Here's a higher low. There's a triangle. You go down to the line, both of them, and you have your A, C, D, B, D line. Now it's starting to retest. This green line is going to be critical right here. That's our 5-minute fib line. Actually, that's our 2-minute fib line. At the pass check, now look at what's now it's saying, oh, maybe we don't want to go back in. Now it's going back into the bigger triangle.
Yeah, it's actually hitting my top of my triangle at the 70-70 mark. No worries. We'll see you tomorrow. And this would be a good time. It's coming into a demand zone, by the way, for Sherlock. Right there where it's coming into it, this 70-69 is a 1-minute demand zone off those two candles that grew off. So
right here. It's basically, it's retesting this little block right here where this thing's
strong
shot
move
out.
away. Yeah.
Strong move away. You look for these strong move away, these extended range candles, the strong move away. And look at the origin of it. Here, and then you see where the pivot low is. Here's the pivot. Here's our pivot candle. Retest. Anchor. Here's a hit. Here's a hit. Here's another hit. Somewhere of rejection. Rejecting this, honoring this trend line. Like on a 1-minute chart, you can really see the price action of how things doing. Now, you have to be careful because you're going to get a lot more visual price action on the 1 minute than you are on like the 5 minute or the 15. So you can burn up some emotional inventory on these charts like this. You go to a 5-minute chart, the picture is not quite as clear on the 5-minute. That's one reason why I like these 1-minute charts. But nonetheless, they're so respectful. You actually have a level on a level. Up here at this end, here's our target area, which is pretty much right where our target is. We have this little wick, here's the rejection. Up here, you see where it came up and retested it. Retested these little wicks. There's a wick here, come across. You can see that just from this candle formation over here. This is the ultimate high over here. There's your high. There's where it was rejected. Came back up. Near tested it. Came back up. Tested it right up here, and it was rejected. And right now it's going up for another. See how it's, and then it started trending down. So for me, I'm going to get out of this trade when I get a chance to get out of here with either a small loss or a small profit. Because this thing does look like it's kind of in a going sideways. So here's your upper 25% of the range. You draw your fib line. You can just take it from this pivot to this pivot. You can see where the ranges are. And if you can basically just use the fib lines. Let's see, there should be a green line down here someplace. Oh, that's a green line right there. And you see the range of this between these two lines on this 5-minute chart. This is going to be probably 7 pips. Oh, no, 14 pips right there.
Had to mute my mic for a bit. I got the hiccups now. It's wonderful.
Is that from talking too much or singing?
Probably singing. I came up with another tune. I can see clearly now that the trade is done.
Oh, there you go.
I can see clearly now the trade is done. That's the typical trader who can give you the hindsight 2020 view of their trading system. You'll hear a lot of that.
I'm really good with the 2020 hindsight 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a fantastic trader when you look 2020.
Well, you can see that I'm trying to develop an indicator where I can see the right side of the chart before it ever gets there.
Yeah, well,
that'd be nice.
I can see all obstacles in my way. That would be a good one to rewrite.
You can see how this retest zone, when I drew this on the 1 minute, look where it is. If I were to draw this zone on the 5-minute chart, I'd have to have it down here. That's where that doji is. Is where the buyers came back in again. Now it's going to be a tug of war. Who's going to win ultimately? Who's going to win? But right now it's just basing going sideways. And we're coming in about 9 o'clock.
I'm prepared to take a small loss.
And don't forget, this week is the first week of the month. We got non-farm payroll report Friday. Beginning of the month is where the institutions are trying to build their positions for the month. And so you're going to get a lot of volatility. You're going to get a lot of trades that they look like they're setting up and then they reverse quickly and that sort of thing. So just be real careful in these first and last week of the month. So just be vigilant.
Follow your rules.
Follow those rules.
Yeah, follow the rules. You can trade them. You can trade during these times, but this is where your your emotions come into check, your discipline part.
And you don't want to start the month out with your, digging a hole and trying to dig out of it. You're better off and just wait for things to settle in and just take those really good trades, the ones that give you the highest probability, and then just go for that little bit just to start. Like I said, when you go to the silk market in Beijing, if you get there first thing in the morning, you always get the best deals because they want that first trade. Because they always say the first trade of the day is good luck, so they always go. They'll take a smaller profit just to get that first trade of the day. And I'm about the same thing. I want to get that first trade in, get some profit under my belt, and then take some of the pressure off. This little wedge here is still being respected, it's still hanging inside here. If it can break through the top, come back, retest. Now we have this green line right here. So again, it's sort of like a double confirmation. Break of the green line. Let me draw it out. You get the break. Come up, retest it. Come back, retest the line. And away we go. This is going to be green.
Look at me staying on a 1 minute chart.
Look at you.
I'm a big boy now.
Reminds me of the pull-ups commercial.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was heading for.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a big boy now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
Now we even have Eva singing.
The guys that we have the AP call this afternoon too at 2:00 Central, 3 Eastern. If you could jump on, that was great. Matt Ward's asked me to talk about Hawkeye, so I'll be talking a short, brief thing about our Hawkeye room. I will not sing.
What room is that going to be in?
I posted it in Telegram. I don't know what room it is.
So is this for everybody to be listening to?
This is for everybody. It's in the Telegram Trade Masters channel. I put it. It's also Auvoria Prime's main channel. It's one of their Zooms. I guess it's similar. I'll log in and Matt will move me over or something. I don't know how that's all going to work.
Like I said, it's getting on to 9 o'clock. Or just about getting ready to get out of this, get back to break even on this trade. And the question just this is
good. This is good, Al.
This is the whole thing with this one is, do you want to just close this thing out and say at least I didn't lose for the day, or do you want to go for that 7 pip profit here?
Well, if you just get me there, I'm at 7 pips now. Let me see if I can close this sucker out before it goes down again. I got out 6.8.
And I'm out.
Yep, I'm out.
I just don't want to play with it anymore.
Not when you got the opening and all the other stuff coming up.
Yep.
I'll take.
I mean, this thing could drive it all the way up. This thing could drive it all the way up. It was basically before the opening, but I'd rather wait to the opening now and just go ahead and reset all the charts and get a fresh look at things after the market opens. And with that, we are right at the 9 o'clock hour. It wasn't a stellar day today, but we didn't. I guess I did get one stop out. Got one profit, one stop out. With that,
I was 50-50. Yeah, I was 50-50, but profitable.
Be careful with that 10 o'clock announcement. Remember, we have an announcement at 10 o'clock. Be careful with that 10 red folder ISM. I have no idea what that means, but I know it's red, and so respect it. Crude oil report at 10:30. Another big one for the Canadian. The Canadian dollar is going to be affected with that, with the crude and oil inventory.
And those who still follow pound yet, it's doing the same thing it's done for the last 2 days. Nothing's moved. So you're good. It's been very, very slow.
So we're going to see what this one is. Close that, knock that out there. And so really there's nothing much that I'm seeing right now that I want to hang my hat on. The Cat Swiss, again, we had, check out the Hercules. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. Gives us some strength, some ideas which way the momentum's going. And with that, all I can say is thanks for being in the room. We're looking forward to getting our new channels set up. Hopefully that'll be another week or so. We'll be ready to go with it in our Hawkeye Zoom channels. And with that, thanks again for being here, and stay green. See you
See you
tomorrow.
guys tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care. God bless. See you tomorrow.